Well, hey there, Mama, and welcome back to the Mom's Overcoming Overwhelm podcast, episode number 230. I'm Emily McDermott, and I am here beside you on this journey as we work together to declutter your home, head, and heart. Have you ever walked into your closet and said, I have nothing to wear? If so, today's episode is for you. I'm speaking to Lauren Morley. She's the creator of the 20 Outfit Wardrobe, an easy to implement system that helps women get dressed in minutes, feel put together every day, and stop constantly shopping. Doesn't that sound like a dream? And we are talking all about her system, how to really shop your closet first, how to create outfits that really work for you and all of the things that you have going on in your lives, what to do if there's other pieces that you might want to wear someday, and much more. Now, Lauren on her website, 20outfitwardrobe.com, has e-guides and style guides. And if you want to purchase any of those, you can use the code overwhelm10 at checkout for 10% off. And also, if you mention me, if you're interested in her custom packages, you will also be able to save 10%. So that information is in the show notes. And without further ado, grab that notebook and pen, and let's dive into today's conversation with Lauren Morley. Hey Mama, are you tired of your cluttered home and mile-long to-do lists but are too overwhelmed to know where to start? Do you lack the time and motivation and don't think you'll ever conquer the clutter? You're in the right place. I'm Emily, wife, boy mom, and declutter coach who has overcome the overwhelm in my own life through decluttering and simplifying. I believe every mom deserves the peace that comes from a clutter-free home. Ready to get your life back? Let's declutter your home, head, and heart together. Hey, Lauren. Thanks so much for coming on the Moms Overcoming Overwhelm podcast. I am really excited to talk to you today.
Yes, thank you so much for having me on today. I'm excited to talk about the wardrobe and the closet.
Yeah, so that is an area I think that moms, they just struggle with constantly. Part of it is that they're maybe going through different seasons in their motherhood. I actually have a client, she just has a baby now, and she's like, what do I do with these shirts and sweaters that I can't use right now because I'm nursing, but then I don't want to let stuff go, and yet things are spilling out of my drawers and my closet. And I feel like clothes is like the nemesis of most women. And I would just love it if we could start out by talking about like your minimalism path and how you came across this 20 outfit wardrobe. Like, where did it all come from?
Yeah, no, thank you. And for sure, the I feel like the closet is a big area a lot of people struggle with, and it's something you have to go in every single day. So being mindful of that. I have always been a minimalist. I'm one of those people when I was a kid, I just never liked having that much stuff. My room was always, neat and very minimal. I just knew from a very young age that I got overwhelmed by a lot of stuff. I didn't like having it. And then I started a podcast with my friend Kelly, the Millennial Minimalist, and we've been podcasting on minimalism for the last over 7 years. And my closet was always that one area I couldn't quite get right. Like I could keep my most of my possessions pared down and manageable, but my closet was that one area. It was like a revolving door. Like I felt like I was bringing stuff in and decluttering and, getting rid of stuff that was still in good condition. And there was one specific night where I was going out for dinner with some girlfriends. I'm sure a lot of people have gone through this. And I didn't know what to wear. And I was trying everything on in my closet. I was throwing stuff on the floor. I showed up late. I didn't feel good in what I had on. I came home to a huge mess. And I was just like, there has to be a better way. Like, and it's kind of that age-old saying, I've been shopping my whole life and I have nothing to wear. So that was when I like really wanted to figure out my closet just for myself. And I kind of had the epiphany that if I just focused on outfits, complete outfits that I liked and that I felt good in, getting dressed would be easy. I should always have an outfit. And I started with my work clothes. So I kind of started trying on pieces, figuring out what went best together. I was able to get ready for work a lot easier in the morning. So I put together some dressy outfits for dinners and events and some casual outfits. And even though I didn't love all of my outfits, it gave me a lot of clarity and something to work on. It almost gave me a foundation for my closet. So I was able to figure out what clothing I actually needed based on my life. I was able to figure out what pieces I enjoyed wearing. And then that led me to figure out what pieces I needed to bring in and what pieces I could invest in. So that's kind of how the 20 outfit wardrobe was born. After working with so many people, I kind of realized 20 is like kind of the sweet spot. Of course, if you live in a climate that has warm weather and cold weather, you can have 20 outfits for warm months and 20 outfits for colder months. And you can have more or less. And they can be your go-to outfits, or you can just have a 20 outfit wardrobe. It's up to you. But yeah, that's kind of how the system was born. And I love it. I've been doing it ever since, and it's helped a lot of people.
Ooh, I love this. And I want to get a little into the nitty-gritty with like the 20, because
Yeah.
I feel like 20, if people are like, yeah, I mean, having 20 solid outfits that I can use is like a good number. And others are like freaking out because they're like, but wait a minute, I work at home. And so I'm not going to have kind of the dressier styles from when I work from home, or I'm a stay-at-home mom. And so I need stuff that, if I get spit up on it, I can kind of like easily change. And then there's more of kind of like that scarcity mentality of like, oh, I don't know if that's enough. But I love the idea that it is outfit based rather than specific items of clothing. And if you have kind of like the average mom that maybe, let's just say we'll use me for example. I work
Yeah.
from home. I
Yeah.
do have to be on, camera occasionally. I go to clients' houses where sometimes it's like I'm getting dusty and dirty because I'm going through stuff. And then, yeah, I'm going to have church and I'm going to have the date night occasionally with my husband. It's like a lot of different types of functionality for clothing. So, how would you maybe break down that 20 into knowing like how you would be using it based upon your activities to make it work for you?
For sure. Perfect question. And I want to use you as the example. So, for you specifically, you would have your outfits that you would wear for when you go to people's homes and organize them. And maybe that's just like a t-shirt and leggings or whatever it is. For working from home or doing these types of meetings or Zoom calls, maybe you have a nice top that you wear and then just leggings. And you can even change back into a t-shirt, something comfortable you wear around the house. The beauty of the system is that it's so tailored to your own life. And then you said for church and if you have other events you could put together some dressier outfits or what I like to call put together casual outfits that you feel confident in and you like and they're easy to grab and put on without having much thought.
And I love that you have this, it is kind of like the go-to or like the go and grab type of concept because I'm assuming that you write this down or you're able to have it so you kind of know what's what. Because I know for me, I can kind of like maybe keep the items together, but perhaps there's like the certain shoes or accessories. So I might need to refer back to something. But just having
Yeah.
kind of like that grab and go to. And the decision fatigue that it's removing is huge. But I guess, simplifying and then removing decision fatigue are those, besides that, what are some of the other maybe benefits that you have noticed personally or with the people that you've helped put this together that they've noticed?
Yeah. There's so many benefits. Honestly, one of the biggest ones, and even I'm still in disbelief to this day after doing it for so many years, people's wardrobe has so much more potential than they think. I feel like we're always like, oh, I don't like my clothes, I don't like my style, I'm in a style rut. So the answer is I'm going to go shopping and buy new stuff. And if that was the answer, then how many times have we gone to the mall and bought a bunch of new stuff and came home and a few months later we still feel frustrated with our wardrobe. So the answer to the system is going in your closet, figuring out which pieces you already have that you like, figuring out which pieces work best together, and then what pieces you might need to bring in that would help complete those outfits or elevate them or to find those gaps in your wardrobe. Like maybe you're like, it's really easy for me for work and my day to day, but if I get invited to a dinner or when it comes to Sunday and I have to go to church, I have nothing to wear. So it's like those are the areas that you have to fix. The biggest benefits are number one, actually wearing and getting use out of the clothes that you own, shopping less. Once you get clear about your needs and what pieces you could bring in that would actually benefit your wardrobe, you're not really just shopping randomly or shopping for entertainment. It becomes a lot more intentional and like purposeful, like you're buying a specific piece for a reason. You're able to own and manage a lot less clothes because you know what pieces you're wearing, what pieces you need, what you're using. And another benefit, which you wouldn't think of, is packing becomes a lot easier. So if you're going on a trip, you're going away for a weekend, you can just pack 3 outfits as opposed to bringing all these just in case items or having to try on a bunch of stuff before you go. So that's another area it really simplifies. But the biggest ones, you're able to get ready a lot easier and faster in the morning. You feel more put together, you're shopping less, and you're owning and managing less clothes.
Yeah, and I think the gap analysis, like you were talking about, like, okay, shopping your closet first, like, what do we have? What do we like? What's working? And then, okay, this could be enhanced. And that's kind of where I don't have a lot of confidence, honestly, is kind of knowing, like, okay, I have the pants and I have the shirt, but like a blazer would really look cute with this. I don't necessarily have that skill set, or at least I tell myself that. So if someone's not feeling confident necessarily of understanding like where those gaps are, some could be obvious. I have 15 pairs of pants and none of them fit me. I need pants. Like that could be
Yeah.
an obvious gap. But sometimes it's more of a style elevation gap where I don't necessarily have a lot of confidence in that. Is that something that you're able to help your clients with that? Or do you provide kind of guidance on how to make a complete outfit? Because sometimes people may not even know what a complete outfit might be. Or maybe you can
For
define
sure.
that, like what a complete outfit is in this terminology.
For sure. I think a complete outfit at the end of the day is just one that you feel good in. And for some people, that might be bright colors or patterns or statement pieces or jewelry. Other people, it might just be a pair of jeans and a nice sweater with boots. So it's, a complete outfit is the one that you feel good in and confident in. And how my services work is I have an e-guide that goes over the system if people want to do their own closet. I have style guides with outfit examples. And then I have a custom package where people take pictures of their pieces and send them in to me. And then I put them into outfits and recommend pieces to bring in to help complete or elevate them. If you were doing it on your own, I mean, one of the easiest ways is to start being more observant. So if you're out in public, and you see an outfit that you like, is that something you could recreate at home? Everyone's like, we're on our phones all day. Start using it to your advantage. Like when you're scrolling Instagram, I think a lot of times we're like, oh, I want that. We need to start saying, do I have those pieces? Could I make that work in my own closet? So the easiest way is to just recreate outfits you see that you like. And if you put them on and you like it and it feels good, then it can be one of your outfits. So just being more observant and finding your own inspiration.
That's good. I like that. That's a very like personalized approach. And then also there's no like right or wrong. It's more like what's working for you and your lifestyle and what your style preferences are. Now we talked about how we don't want to run out to the store as the first step.
Yes,
Are there
yes.
other like common mistakes that people make when they start this process where it's like, okay, all right, I know now, Lauren, I won't go run out to the store, but are there other mistakes that you see people making all the time?
Yeah, I think like listen, decluttering and organizing is great and it's very necessary for your wardrobe, but you can have the most organized, color coded, beautifully folded, perfect closet and still not know what to wear. So it does have a functional value to it, but I think one mistake is that when people are decluttering, they ask themselves, do I like this? Does it fit me? Whereas they should also be asking themselves, what does this go with in my wardrobe and where can I wear it to? That's when you start actually wearing and getting use out of your pieces. And I think a lot of the work actually starts on a pen with a pen and paper and not in your closet. It's like writing down what your life looks like. What do you do for work? How do you need to be dressed for work? What does your weekends look like? Like, are you at the park with your kids? Are you at play dates, birthday parties? What does your evenings look like? Are you going out for dinner or are you at home? And then figuring out what pieces you enjoy wearing. Like if you dress up, do you like to wear a dress? Do you like to wear a skirt? Do you like to wear dress pants? Or do you like to wear jeans and a nice top? Like figuring that out and then figuring out the pieces you already own and what looks best together. And then the few pieces, honestly, with most of the people I've worked with, 3 to 5 pieces we bring in and their wardrobe's like pretty good after. So definitely getting out a pen and paper, kind of figuring out what your needs are, what you like wearing, and then figuring out what pieces look best together with what you already own.
Oh, I love that. And in another kind of area where I was talking about routines in a recent episode, I talked about noticing where there's friction and frustration with our routines, but I feel like that can also be with getting dressed.
Oh,
Like,
there's so much
where is there
frustration.
like frustration where I'm going to give an example going to church? Like I usually wear, it's a more casual church, so I'm wearing jeans and a sweater, but maybe I'm going to wear boots, okay? But sometimes we're standing for a long time and then like my feet hurt, you know? So
Yeah.
then it's like, oh, that's interesting information. That was kind of annoying friction. It was kind of like frustrating to me. So for church, maybe my outfit is going to have flats. Like I'm always going to wear flats, and that might change. Or when it comes to literal friction, like we buy clothing, maybe we thought something was really cute and we buy it and it's super uncomfortable. And instead of like forcing ourselves to keep it because we paid so much money for it, in this kind of, ecosystem, we're like, oh, okay, I'm picking things that work for me and my lifestyle that make me feel good, that, are my go-tos. Something that I bought that I thought was going to work out that's actually super uncomfortable doesn't make the cut. And just being able to recognize, yeah, okay, maybe I shouldn't have bought that and perhaps let that one go. So I think that knowing what works, but then also knowing what doesn't work and kind of making notes about that. For me, I write everything down so I could already see like that kind of analysis would be really helpful. And like you said, before you ever step in your closet to make any decisions, you're doing this forethought at the front end.
Yes, and I love that you said that. It's like because doing the system brings so much more awareness to your wardrobe, whereas a lot of times we just don't think about it. Like you might be like, oh, I'm going to go buy new shoes, as opposed to what shoes do I own that I could wear to church that goes with what I have on right now. And it's paying attention to those little details and having those complete outfits that are appropriate for church and that you feel good in and that are comfortable and functional for where you're going and what you're doing. And then building on those. So then maybe you have like 4 or 5 church outfits that are, weave through all those little headaches that you were talking about. And you talked about too buying pieces that aren't comfortable. One of the biggest things you can do is just if you have to get rid of a piece that you never ended up wearing, be mindful of why you're getting rid of that. So it's like, you know what, I bought this, it wasn't comfortable. So now when you purchase things, like make sure they're comfortable. Come home, try them on, make sure the turtleneck isn't too tight or the shoes aren't a little bit too small or the fabric's uncomfortable. Make sure you can move around in it and sit in it. And if for any reason there's any discomfort, you're not going to wear it. So you should take it back. But there's definitely, I think, until we realize the beauty of decluttering your closet is that you can acknowledge why you're getting rid of pieces and not make those mistakes in the future.
Yeah, it helps with intentional purchasing, which is like so important rather than, oh, it's on sale, so I'm going to get it. And you're just reminding me, I'm not a huge online clothes shopper. I know that's the majority of people nowadays.
Yeah.
They're going on their favorite retailer's website or they're going on Amazon. Oh, I can just return it. I am not that kind of person. I have my one or two stores where I know that I like the style and things fit me. And I go into the dressing room and I actually try stuff on. But one of the things you just reminded me of is for the different things I'm doing through the week. On Monday, I teach a preschool music class. Okay. So I'm lifting my arms and I'm moving around and I'm getting down on the floor. And I can't have a shirt that's going to like ride up, because
Yeah.
that would be embarrassing. And so just if I was getting a new shirt in the changing room, it might be kind of weird, but maybe I would lift my arms up or I would kind of move around or I would sit down in the pants and make sure that they, feel okay. And a lot of times I feel like I just kind of throw the thing over my head or I zip up the pants. I'm like, oh, these look good, but I'm not actually pretending like I'm doing the actions that I might do based upon my lifestyle. So that's really making me think differently about how I purchase clothes, which is really cool.
Yes, and you don't want to get to the place and be like, "Oh shoot, like this top isn't functional for this." So it's a good thing to be mindful beforehand. And another thing you said, which I loved, is that you're like, every Monday I teach this class. So if there is something you do on a consistent basis, it is definitely like an area of your wardrobe that you should pay attention to. If it's a one-off, and you're like, oh shoot, I shouldn't have worn that top. It's like, but I'm never probably gonna do that again. Or yeah, it's a once a year thing. You can maybe let it slide. But if it's definitely something on a consistent basis that you go to or attend, it's worth paying attention to.
Yeah, and I kind of have sort of a uniform approach with some things. You can't really tell, but I have a shirt that is like my company shirt and it says make room for what matters most. And then it has my logo on the back because I'm going to a client's house this afternoon. And I
Yeah.
know that I get warm because I'm lifting and moving and doing all this stuff. So I want a short sleeve shirt and it's comfortable and it doesn't like ride up and whatever. So that is unless I have clients 3 days in a row, at least one of those days, I'm going to be wearing like my uniform and then I don't have to think about it. It's like that decision fatigue is gone. And it's
Yeah.
more of like a functional rather than a fashionable choice, I guess, but it's something that works for the function of what I need. And it is recurring that usually I have like a client a week. So I know at least one day a week I'm going to be wearing this particular outfit. And it's just so nice, even that, not to have to think about it. Because
Yeah.
I joke as a minimalist that I can get dressed in the dark while my husband is still sleeping because I do not have many clothes and I know what they are just by touching them. So I can go into
Yeah.
my closet and I
I
can
love it.
actually touch it and know, like, oh, that's my short sleeve, black shirt or whatever. And most people think I'm crazy. They're like, wait a minute, how do you know what you're getting on in the dark? And I'm like, well, when you don't have much volume and everything is kind of your favorite thing, then it's actually easier than you think.
I love it. It should be a slogan. Get dressed in the dark and still look good.
Yeah, exactly. Well, so my listeners are mostly moms, and I talked at the beginning of the episode about a certain client. She just texted me yesterday and is like, I have a baby, I'm nursing, like I have to have these nursing tops, and I'm staring at a pile of sweaters that I love, but I can't wear right now because this is in a different season. And so I'm curious when you are working with women that are kind of going through these transition periods, or perhaps they might want to have a baby at some point, or they might want to have another baby. And so they're like, should I hold on to some of this? Does this count towards my 20 items, my 20 outfits? People
Yeah.
get very like specific and legalistic about this kind of stuff. So, what
Yeah.
do you tell people that they have kind of maybe these different circumstances and they can still honor the spirit of the 20 outfit concept, but then allow for some of these differences in their lifestyle?
For sure. And that's a great question. So I'm all about storage, whether it's in a certain area of your closet or a drawer under your bed, wherever it is. Just make sure you store your stuff properly. But I truly believe that the closet or the area that you walk into every day to get dressed should reflect your current life, your current size, and what you need to get dressed for. Staring at stuff that, isn't part of your life or doesn't fit you right now is just mental clutter that is unnecessary. So, in that scenario, I would e- possibly section off a part of my closet or make an area of pieces that I could wear right now that feel good and that fit me. And then when the next season comes, if I want to go bring those pieces in, that's when I could make that change to my closet. I think if you like, if, for instance, if you have maternity wear and you've had a kid and you don't know whether you want to have another kid, you can store that stuff until you make that decision. But waking up every day and seeing your maternity clothes and being like, oh, that's something I got to think about, or, it's unnecessary thoughts and decisions in the morning where your closet should be, functional to your life and it's there to get you ready and make you feel good, not to make you question a million things in your mind.
Yeah, I had a guest who said like your closet is the boutique you shop from every day. So if like you went to your favorite store and nothing fits you and everything was the wrong size or it was something too small that was like I say also like if your stuff is mocking you, then you need to put it away or maybe get rid of it because if it's saying to you why can't you get into, why can't you wear me? Why are you too big to have me fit you or whatever, then it's like that's just mental clutter that we don't need. None of us need. So just having it be the stuff that is, seasonally appropriate, but then appropriate to the functions of your day to day and your lifestyle and everything. I feel like that's kind of hard for people to get because they're like, well, and this might be my final question before we wrap up, is what if I might want to wear it? Like, what if I don't wear it often, but like I might want to wear that someday? Like, what do you do about the
Yeah.
mights and the somedays that are kind of like tripping you up when it comes to keeping too much in your closet?
Great question. And that's why not a lot of people necessarily aspire to minimalism. They just kind of want, to declutter and have less physical stuff. And that's where I really pitch the go-to outfits. So not every piece in your closet has to go into an outfit. For myself, I have a storage container. I live in a condo. I have a locker. I have a storage container, and that's where I keep those pieces. And sometimes I bring them out, and I do end up finding a piece that it works with, or I end up wearing it again. But you can just have your go-to outfits. I also tell people to create an album in their phone with that says outfits, so they just have the pictures of them. Make sure you take a selfie of you in them because you want to make sure it works. But just having those go-to outfits is what will simplify your life and your wardrobe. And then if you have other pieces in your closet that, or maybe I'll wear it, sometimes I wear it, that's fine. The beauty of the system is that over time it will give you a lot more clarity. You'll be like, okay, I like that, but I haven't worn it in a year. I don't know what it goes with. It's not that comfortable. Like it does make you question pieces a lot better and a lot differently than just, oh yeah, I like that piece. Like I like it. I'll just put it in the color coordinated area.
And I love the fact that, with your different levels of like support and guidance, people, if they're like, oh, I'm not really sure about this, or like, how would this work with my outfits? Or, okay, I might put this in storage. Like you can provide some guidance on this. I know I'm aging myself, but I always loved the movie Clueless. I think it came out when I was like 15 or 16. So I was right in that age where I was like obsessed with like, Alicia Silverstone and getting dressed and she like does the little thing in the computer and it's like, no, X, like that doesn't work. And then, the next thing comes through and it's like check mark, that works. And I'm like, oh man, isn't that what we all need for like either
Yes,
getting like the X or the check mark? And
so
just kind of
true.
like, I would love to have that now, but this is a great option too, because then it makes you think more about it. And then to have, like you said, have it on your phone, or if you're more of a words person like me and you kind of know, like, oh, these are my trouser jeans and like my striped shirt and whatever, it might be easier for me to do it that way. But I love just kind of having that go-to reference so
Yeah.
that again, you look at your calendar and I'm like, I have some speaking engagements this month, for example.
Yeah.
Look at my calendar. Okay, I'm speaking to a mom's group tomorrow. Okay, that means that I'm wearing speaking outfit or whatever. And you just like know what that speaking outfit is, and then you have the reference. It's just like so much time and energy freed up for other things in our lives. It's like
Yes.
amazing, right?
And the way I teach it is, I get people to create casual outfits for the casual events and then dressier outfits for the dressier events. So, you could put together a few dressier outfits in your wardrobe, put together casual or dressy. And then when that speaking engagement comes up, instead of being like, what am I going to wear, trying on your clothes, or having to go shopping, you can just look in your phone and you have a few outfits that you could wear. It takes you a minute or two to put on, you're out the door instead of stressing about it. And you know that you're comfortable, you feel confident in it. Yeah, you're not stuck in front of a bunch of people. I actually work with a lot of teachers because they're up in front of classrooms. So yeah, especially when you're doing speaking in front of an audience, it's nice to feel comfortable in what you have on so that you can focus on what you're saying.
Yeah, and again, yeah, focus on what you're saying or focus on like what the task is rather than worried like, oh, am I comfortable in this? Like, does this look okay? Is this kind of presenting or reflecting like what I want to be and coming across as being confident, as like being someone that's put
Yeah.
together, because especially for me, if I'm coming to talk about organization, I don't want to look like hot mess mom coming in there.
Yeah.
So, oh my gosh, this is really, I love this topic and just anything. I just read The Paradox of Choice by Barry Schwartz, and it's all about how, as in the Western world, I'll say that since you're Canadian, but in the Western world, like we say that we want more choice, but at a certain point, too much choice actually causes a lot of unhappiness because of
Yes.
the decision fatigue and all of these types of things. And so I feel like the closet is probably one of the best places where we can reduce those unnecessary choices and then free up that energy and time for all the other things that we want to pursue in our lives that are actually like our purpose and our mission and all of that. So this is just unbelievably helpful. And I would love it if you could tell us where we can learn more about you and connect with you, find out more about the 20 outfit wardrobe and anything else you want to share.
Yeah, of course. My website is 20outfitwardrobe.com and my Instagram is at 20outfitwardrobe, spelt out 20, TWENTY. And yeah, I post a lot of tips and tricks on my Instagram, and I have my style guides, my guide, and my course, and I do one-on-ones if people want a more customized approach. But yeah, at the end of the day, I feel like people think, oh, 20 outfits, it's not that much, but it's hard to get 20 nice outfits that you really love. And, the beauty of it is that you can only wear so many clothes. Like you want to get use out of and enjoy your clothes that you spent money on. So, when you pare down your wardrobe, you actually start to wear and enjoy the stuff you have and appreciate it. And yeah, I think people are like, oh, 20 is too little. But, once you get 20 outfits you like, you feel like you almost have more variety in your wardrobe.
Oh, I love that. Well, I'll be sure to link to everything in the show notes. And thank you so much, Lauren, for coming on the
Yeah.
show. This was such a fun conversation.
Thank you so much. And yeah, if you're ever in Toronto, reach out. I would love to show you the city.
Yay. Okay, awesome. Thanks. Hey, Mama, thanks so much for listening. If you enjoyed today's show, could you please share this episode with another mom who is feeling overwhelmed? Also, it would mean the world to me if you could leave a 5-star written review wherever you listen to your podcast. Finally, if you would like more support, come on over to our free Facebook group, tinyurl.com/moms overcoming overwhelm. Can't wait to connect with you soon.